Hi, it's Mrs. Keeler. Hey, pause the recording and run and grab your fairy tale book if you don't have it. Okay? Oh, good, you're back. Okay, I want you to turn to page 126. We're going to read the story of the real princess today. Now, this story is also called The Princess and the Pea. What do we know about princes and princesses? Have we read some stories about them? We've read a few, haven't we? We read Cinderella. We read The Frog Prince. We read Sleeping Beauty. So we're now going to read The Real Princess, or The Princess and the Pea. Let's read it, and then we'll talk about how the princesses are similar and different. Okay? Page 126. There was once a prince, and he wanted a princess, but she had to be a real princess. He traveled through the world to find one, but always something seemed to be wrong. Though many he met claimed to be real princesses, he could never be sure that this was true. At last he returned home, and he was very sad because he wanted a real princess so badly. One evening a terrible storm came up. Lightning flashed in the sky, and rain tore at the castle walls. It was a dark and fearful night. Then in the midst of the storm a knock came at the city gates. The old king himself went to open them. A princess stood outside, but the storm had left her in a terrible state. Water streamed from her hair and her clothes. It ran at the toes of her shoes and out the heels, but still she said she was a real princess. Can you see the picture of her standing at the door with the king? Do you think she looks like a princess? We'll see. We shall soon discover if that is true, thought the old queen. But she said nothing. She went into the bedroom, took all the bedclothes off, or the sheets, and laid a pea on the bottom boards of the bed. She's talking about a little tiny pea that you eat, those kind of peas. And then she put 20 feather beds on top of the mattresses. So she put the pea down, she put 20 mattresses on top of them, and then she put 20 feather beds on top of the mattresses. This was where the princess was to spend the night. In the morning, the queen, the king, and the prince came into the room and asked the princess how she slept. "Oh, it was dreadful," said the princess. "I hardly closed my eyes the whole night. I don't know what it could have been, but I was lying on something so hard that my whole body is black and blue." We're turning the page, so the chime's coming. Did you hear it? Time to turn the page. Then they saw at once that she must be a real princess, for she had felt the pea through 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds. Nobody but a real princess would have such delicate skin. Can you see a picture of her laying up on all the mattresses and the feather beds? So the prince took her for a wife because now he knew that he had at last found a real princess. As for the pea, that was put into a museum where it may still be seen if no one has taken it. Now, isn't this a real story? What do you think? Do you think this is a real story? Do you think someone would really be able to feel a pea under 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds? Probably not. Just like Mrs. Keeler kind of looks like a princess today, doesn't she? I have a crown. I have a beautiful dress. Can you see my beautiful dress? But does that mean I'm a real princess? No. Do you know how princes and princesses are decided upon? Usually it's whoever the queen was, their daughter is the princess, or whoever the king was, their son is the prince. It's passed down through the family. So even though somebody looks like a princess, that doesn't necessarily mean they are a princess by royalty, right? But all of Mrs. Keeler's kindergarten girls are princesses in her eyes. And all of my kindergarten boys are princes in my eyes. Okay. All right, that's the story of the real princess. We'll read it one more time tomorrow. See you later.